welcome, and I hope that you are enjoying your day. I thought that I would do a live stream of me creating a map for the Sims. Uh, I'm sorry, for the map for the Cities Skylines. I'm going to start a new series. No, don't worry, I'm not just abruptly ending my old series. But I've been making a couple maps, and I thought, well, I found it really, really hard to make one to begin with, so I had to look up a lot of stuff to do that. So what I ended up doing was quite simple. I ended up uh, starting just to practice, and now that I think I know how to do it, I wanted to do it online for all of you and show you maybe exactly how to do it. Or not exactly how to do it, but how I did it and my thought processes on this. And so I know that this is going to be a lot of it's going to be a lot of me just thinking, so it's probably going to be quiet. And if you want to watch it later on, it will be a time lapse video also with a little bit of me talking, but that will be sort of cool. So let's see what we are doing. Yeah, let's get started. One of the things which I found out early is where exactly the levels are, and that's something to think about. Your terrain height, because you want your terrain height to make sense. And so I'm going to set mine at 40. And then I'm going to come through here with a large brush, make it huge, and we are going to raise up the terrain. And right now it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't even know if you can see this. It's really hard to see, but there is a dotted outline around this, which is where you're supposed to be building in. And here's what I know. I know that there's going to be ocean on this side, and it will come over. There'll be a giant river running sort of through the center of it, and then ocean around it. But I want it to make it look like everything is sort of off the map. So what I'm going to do, let's see if I'm doing this right first. Am I doing this right? I am not. It's already set at a certain height. I wonder what height it's set at. Let's see. Let's go with 80 then. And 80 does what? Okay, so it's set. So there's 80. Hmm. 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 Was it set at 50? It's close. 55. And right now, what I want to do is I want to, aha. Well, that's sort of interesting. I think we got it. We don't got it. We no got it. So is it set at 60 instead? If it's set at 60, then... Alright, it's not enough to fool around with, but we know that we're going to set everything which I want to be up high is going to be set at 60. Okay, so I'm going to come in here like this and just do some rough outlines there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to then set this at 20 so that I can get some idea of where I want water to go. Here's the one thing I have found, and that is really easy. Oh yeah, let's set the water height. If I'm setting everything at 60, sea level's at 40. Let's bring the sea level up. We're going to delete that and bring it up to 50, which will then cause some massive flooding, but that's beside the point. It'll be okay. Okay, so let's do our level tool, and right now we want the terrain height at 60. So we're going to go through here and make sure that our terrain height is good. And then all along here, and trust me, this takes forever. There you go. Now, we're going to do a break, and I'm going to do one tiny little terrain height is 0. I'm going to take this. I will warn you about this. This is something I found out way late. You want to make sure that everything that you do is way smaller than what you think it needs to be, because it is amazing how much room things take up. So what I'm going to do right now is sort of trench out a rough line, and this rough line is where I want sort of like boats and ships to go. Since this does not have to be perfect, and it's just giving me some estimate of what to do, and also, wow, that's really rough to see, I want a river, and I know that my river is going to come up here, and then I'm going to bring this up to maybe 20. Okay. And no, everything is not going to be this height, and it's not going to be this even and everything, but it gives us some idea of what we're going for. Remember, when you do your first thing, your first town or everything, you want to make it so that you have to have a highway entrance and all those things and water available to your town. There. Now we can see water is starting to go. Now I'm going to go back through here and get this so that it goes here. There we are. Making sure that all of this is opened up so that hopefully we can get some water rolling. Now I know for a fact that what I'm going to do is the bottom edge is going to be where I want everything to run. Alright, looking good so far. Now that we've gotten here, what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to drop this down by 5 and come up here. There. By dropping that down by 5, what that's also doing is that's giving me some way of making sure that we have water flowing. 10. Okay. There. We've got our 10 down. Excellent. Now that we're out of the town, I'm going to drop it even more. I'm going to drop it to 5. And I know this doesn't, at first when I kept doing this, it was like, this makes no sense. Why am I doing this way? But then I realized, oh yeah, hey, what I'm doing is I'm getting all of this put in. And water goes in a really weird way here. So, okay, we are at 0. Alright. We have that going. It'll take it a while. But there, so we have the basis of our river now. That sort of makes me happy. Now, what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start putting in levels to build things up. Do I like that? I really wanted this to curve back around. I might shift that so that it curves more. In fact, I'm pretty certain I will shift this so that it curves more this way. Simply because what I want it to do is I want to be able to hide the entrance of the river. what I will do now with this terrain tool is go up to 50, make it a little larger. Alright, a little bit larger than that. And we're going to go over and take care of that. So that way I don't have to worry about the river entering in where I didn't want it to enter in at. I also found out this other horrible thing, which I found out later on, and that's the fact that, hey, you know what? If you aren't real careful with things with this, I'm also going to cover this over because I want that to go. So if that goes there, I'm going to have this go there. If you aren't real careful with this, what happens is you get this bizarre 20. You get this bizarre thing where it looks like it's doing really well, and then you start playing it and you're like, oh wait, this isn't what I wanted at all. So I had to be really careful on some of these things. Now we'll go back to our 50 so that I can get rid of the other spot where there's water. Because what I did with my first city is I made the inclines way too big, and so it was sad. Yeah, it was sad. There we go. Don't worry about the fact that it looks rough and there's lots of flooding. It will happen. It will even itself out. You just have to believe. Now we're just going to start building up our hills and then start taking down our valleys. So let's make sure that this gets connected. There we go. There we are. Nice and connected. And I don't even know if I'm going to finish this all in one live stream, but I can tell you that it's pretty cool. Okay. Why do I have it on one? There's my other problem. I'm like, why is everything going so slowly? It's because it's set at 1. Then I think that is good. Now we're going to do some big brushes here, and I'm going to slowly, so you can see our water building up, and it should give us some really nice speed. You can also see it flooding everywhere. Okay, now we're going to go to this being 5. And I'm going to run it just at the edge here. I'm going to bring down the strength so I have more of a softer edge. And we're also going to do that. Alright, you've got to get bigger. There. Since this will be ocean, I don't like that. Let me go back to that. There we go. And you can see where I'm aiming at with this. I'm making sure that this is going to be my nice coastline, and it just will tear us off pretty nicely. And yeah, I'm going to have some islands in there, but we're going to see if I can remember to put in an island right there along with the other side. Now let's go back and do this side. Once that's in, if you're wondering why I'm doing this, it's so that I can hide some things that I don't want to see in it. Like I don't want to see where the rivers start. There we go. That looks pretty good so far. Excellent. Then we're going to go to 10. And hopefully this will also give me a nice way to do this. Where are we? So my first tile will be right there. We know that my second tile, oh, I have no idea what order I'll actually build this in. And yes, I will smooth all of this out. But for the water, doing this way will make sense. When you get into the other things, it doesn't. Yeah, this is pretty cool. So if you're just now joining, yes, this is one of my first times building, well, not my first time, but it's my first time doing this live, building a wonderful map, and I will use this in my series, new series that I'm going to do. Alright. Now, if you look closely, and on my screen I can see it, you can see the dotted line where it's going to be. And that is where your 9 squares start. And when you start off your map, just do it rough. Don't worry about being perfect. Just get in what you want to get in. There we go. Looks pretty good so far. And on the other side, because the first time I did this, I tried so hard to be perfect, and it did not work. There we go. So we'll definitely have ocean liners going this way. That'll be nice. Our seaport will go this way. Alright, now let me shrink that back down, because I'm thinking I should also do a branch off the river here and have it go over there, but we'll do the size a little different. And then the height will be 0. And that's way too small. Oh yeah, 85 made all the difference. How about 185? There we go. Then I will do this at, I don't want it at 0. I want it at like 15. I think 15. Cool. So that way we're not breaking with our whole idea of getting this in, and it will wrap back around that way. Perfect. Do this, making sure that there. Yes, that's wonderful. Alright, now let's start giving this some definition. I suppose realistically, now since 2 rivers came into it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it wider. Is that wider? Not much wider. 385. Yes, that's wider. And I'm going to say by this time, if we had 15, we're going to do about 15, 10, 5, and 0. So yeah, in here, make it a little wider in some spots, a little bit more narrow. And don't worry about these not looking right, because like I said, we're going to go back and smooth everything out. I just want to put the water in right now. And then 5. There we go. Perfect. Yeek, everything's flooding now. Alright, now let's start getting this back to where we want it to be. We are, and if you don't want to watch the whole video, the whole live stream, don't feel you have to, because I will do this as a sped up video. and we're going to get that there, and get your brush size there. What I'm doing now is I'm making it so that we have some subtle mountains, or right now it'll be subtle hills. Let's go to 70. Yeah, I always think about the first time that I did this, and like everything that I did was, nothing was even. So I went to place the houses and everything, and none of it was even, none of it worked out well, and so everything, I was like, oh, what did I do? But this way, as you can see me putting in some of the contour of the area. And we'll work one side then the other. Get the brush size a little smaller. A little smaller. Then we'll do 90. Must have done that one at 90, so we have to be at 100. There we go. This was the point when I was like, well, this makes no sense. This looks really weird now. And it does. I'll admit that. This looks really strange now, but it won't. There we go. Now I'm going to leave a lot of this flat through here, and then come in and start the whole process again over here at 70. And bring up the brush size. There we go. $80. 90. Alright, so I'm just trying to get the basic contours of my town or my city in. And I'm doing this in the, it's a long process, but I found that this actually is what worked best for me. And so I'm willing to take the time to do it. And yeah, we'll have some lakes in here. But you notice how you can see that things are beginning to pay off. 60, oops. Things are beginning to look better. Then we will do, because I forgot that is 60, 70. There we go. Hills in here. Not too many, because I have to have flatlands. Like I said, I learned my lesson the hard way the first time I did this, and I didn't have the flatlands, and oh my gosh, that was a mistake and a half. You can't build without there being flatland. Okay. Now that doesn't look bad. Now we can have some fun. We're going to raise these things up and increase the brush size So what tool we're using right now is the shift tool. It's going to raise everything up. And I'm going to try to do this so that it doesn't look like so it doesn't look bad. That's my goal. And yeah, we'll go over this several times. And we'll smooth it out. But you can start seeing where things will come together. The longer you hold down on it, the higher it will go. But yeah, it doesn't look bad there. And I know I want some mountains coming through here. And then on the other side, the same thing. There we go. And I also have to remember, to have an actual map, you have to have highway connections and train connections. There we are. Do some right here. I think I'm going to break this river off here so that there is an island that has to be dealt with. So that being said, you, train tool 0. Alright, we'll make you a little bit wider. So that there is an island that we have to deal with. And that'll be a challenge. Okay. Good. Oh. And you can see what I was talking about is whenever you do a change with the water, it does some weird things. It really does some weird things. Maybe a lake too. I don't want that at 0. Maybe it will be at 15. And we'll put our lake at the base of this mountain. Or should we put our lake over here? There are just so many great places to put it. Yeah, I think we'll put our lake right here. And I am keeping an eye on the whole where the squares are, so that way it doesn't, you don't have these huge problems. There we go. And you're not buying things which you're like, oh wow, look, that's just a really simple thing to take care of. No problem. It's like, no, it can be a problem. Will we sneak this river up along? I think we will. We will sneak the way into this right along here. There we go. And it will run back throughout here. There. Alright. Looking good so far. I know, it doesn't look like much, but it is. It's a lot of cool things. Alright. Now back to our tools. Make you a little bit bigger so that we can then adjust the size of some of these things. Here we go. And yeah, if you're wondering how to rotate the brushes around, you just play with it. If you want it to go down, you use the right arrow key. If you want it to come up, use the left arrow. I'm sorry, if you want it to go down, use the right mouse key. If you want it to come up, use the left mouse key. And so I can make things, ooh, bad, undo. That was awful. Let's bring let's bring the size of that up. Then we're going to bring the strength of this down. Okay. Don't want too much there. Now as we go off here, I do want a lot. Because this is going to be looking off into the distance. And we can have a lot. In fact, we probably should have a lot. Nice. Flooding, of course. Let's put in a nice little hill over here. There we go. And my goal is to make this look like it's as if it was originally based off of some sort of ancient civilization was there, then they moved, and they're not there anymore. So we'll put in some ruins, but this is just the stuff to get us started with. Perfect. Now, we're going to use our smooth tool. We're going to start smoothing things out. Oh, strength is way too high. I want it smoothed out, but I don't want it perfectly smooth. Like the contour lines on these hills, I don't want to see those lines, but I also don't want to lose them. So this way I use my smooth tool and I get the line there, but I don't have to worry about the whole. Now it just looks like it's a line. There we go. There. Oh, that looks so much better now. And that's going to give us a lot to play with. There we go. Now it's looking less like a topographical map and more like a city. So far, so good. That looks incredible. I like it. Now let's really start having fun with this. Getting in the different kind of mountains to make the hills look different. Now, you notice I am leaving some spaces in here because I know I'm going to put in a highway coming in through there. We're going to try to sneak a highway in through here and then somewhere over there. Because, like I said, you have to have those connections. Hey, look, this is flooding. It won't flood forever. There we go. There. Let's take a look at this. How is our water flowing? I do love the way it looks. And see, that's the cool part. Oh, hey, well, let's put this in here now. Brush size, we'll keep the size. I'm going to level you and put you down to 15. I don't like that. Let's correct that. Okay. I'm going to put in a little lake/pond thing here. There. And then let's do you right here. Because why I'm doing this is I'm going to try to hide. What's going to be really cool is I'm going to try to hide a waterfall. Now we'll do our slope tool. We're going to bring this brush size really small. I'm going to slope from here to there. There we go. Now, can I even see that anywhere in the vicinity that I would be in to see it? Barely. So, and then we will go to, oh, we can actually take this down to here. So, let's take this down to here, there. Why am I putting in the really bizarre rocks there? So that you can see it more. Now let's throw in what I'm talking about. That is a water source. And I don't think I have enough room for it. So let's go through, do this, take that down, make the brush a little larger. There we go. Now let's go back to our water source and bring it up. What this water source will try to do is it will try to fill this up to that level. However, because of what we did, it's not going to be able to. See, as it's running down the hill now. And it will start filling in this area. Which I think this is so cool. So cool. Alright, and let's there. See how it's flowing now? That's how you can get waterfalls in there. Oh, to me, that just absolutely is. I'm sitting here just absolutely amazed by that. I think I'm going to put in another one. There we go. And I probably have to then, level tool, brush size, brush strength, level, the height, yeah, that's fine. We'll see what happens with that. If worse comes to worse, it will eventually try to overflow this. It really will. So let's give it a way out. There we go. We've given it a way out. Now over here. Alright, so we're going to bring this back up. Yeah, let's do that one. I want it to be less than that. I want it to be more rounded. And you can see where I'm going to go with this already. There we go. Looks good. Now we're going to do this. Make the circle much, much smaller. And put it probably here. Then bring everything up around it. So that way it has to go this way. Then just cast that down the hill. Alright. Now let's add our water feature. And we'll bring that level up to about there. Might have to go higher. We will see. And this is going to give us a nice little pond there. Yep, it looks good so far. And then from the city, what you'll see is like almost like a Devil's Peak kind of thing. The water effects just amaze me. Alright, now I'm getting sidetracked. Sidetracked is bad. Alright, let's use our smooth tool to start smoothing things out. Or soften tool, sorry. So that way you don't have these bizarre, harsh edges that just wouldn't happen in nature. Oh, that looks good. Yeah. Little corners like that just wouldn't happen. Oh hey, this is overflowing. That's a bad thing. And this is overflowing. Once again, not a good thing. We're going to bring the strength of this way, way, way down. And just bring that up slightly. Then our level tool. And we are going to bring you up to about 69 would do it. Yep. It definitely wants to flow this way. Well, we're not going to let that happen. We have a specific course that we want it to follow, and this is not it. go. You notice how I'm now using this to bring this in, and I can bring it back, and it'll hold it back. That's the amazing part. Looks good there. Let's take care of this. And also that. Any flooding anywhere else I need to deal with? Oh hey, I never dealt with this. So, how shall we deal with this? Realistically, how bad is that going to flood? Oh, that isn't that high. That's why that's flooding. Well, I would love to just bring this that way and that way, and then bring this that way and that way. Now you can see how I'm forcing it to go. The water has to go where I tell it to go. Let's bring this up to 75. And you're really not going to notice it too horribly much. Well, there you might, where I just absolutely messed up. You might, but if it weren't for that, you wouldn't notice. There we go. Good, good, good. I suppose realistically, we can just take that in and just make it so that it has a way to go out. So that it makes some sense. There we go. Now it has a way it's going out. Now what I'm also going to do is put in another water feature so that way and that way I can bring this one up to the height that I want it to be at, which I think I made that too high. I did. Lower. How's that? There, just a hair. No. Is that enough? It might be. That's so cool. So that way, if you're looking at it, you can see that. Alright, now let's get back to, we make some really gentle hills now. Strength way down 6%, the size up. The size way up. When I said up, I actually meant up. Alright, brush. because nothing in this world is completely, like, level. There we are. And we'll keep that back there. And that's going to give some major challenges in building that. Looks good so far. Okay. Now soften everything. Because I don't want to have these bizarre lines running through it. You know, the whole look, we know how you did that. There we go. Love the hills. It just looks more hilled and terrained, and it just looks really cool. Alright, we're going to have to up the brush strength on that because it's not softening it as much as I would like to see. There we go. Looks much, much better. And we haven't even started putting in things like plants and all those fun things. No. I just realized what I did. But at least I realized it. So that's a good part. Yeah, as long as you realize when you make a mistake rather than keep making the same mistake, that's when you run into problems. There we go. Looking pretty good so far. Yeah, that's excellent. Oops, oops. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Problem. At least I caught it. You, brush size, level, terrain height. No, you're 20. 20. Okay. At least I caught that. My bad. Sorry. There we go. Now that's better. Could have been a bad thing. Could have been easily avoided had I been paying attention. Now let's do you at like 15. Nope. Oh gosh. Not what I meant to do. Yeah, that was completely my fault. There. Yeah, I put it at 150 instead of the 15 that I originally wanted to go at. There we go. Just so we can open up this a little bit more. Maybe have a few fun things, like a few spots where there's an island or that sort of thing. Oh, I like that. Alright, now let's put in some resources. Okay, what would make sense for resources? Because this is the point where I like to do resources. You want to make resources so, like, they make total sense. So, grasslands. Brush size, big. The grasslands, if you have them fertile soil near the river, near water, that makes total sense. And are you still in the area? Yes, you are. So yeah, putting that in by the nice area here. And you here. Then, when you think of oil, I'm going to put oil down over here. And I like to put in some big areas, but I'm not going to put oil on the hill because that would be bad. There we go. Now the one thing I do love about this, then ore will go over here. Now how you're going to get to that ore is going to be a whole nother challenge. The one thing that I do love about this is the fact that a lot of times these resources run out before you even know it. There we go. We have our ore back over here. Little spot of ore there, and then oil on the front side of that. Okay. Now let's get in. Let's finish up our hills to make this look a little bit better. There we go. I know some of you are thinking, well, that doesn't look like a whole lot right now. It will. Trust me, it will. Okay. Let's bring this down a whole lot. So that way. I can run that there. Okay. Alright, well, I think I'm going to leave this now, and we will come back to it. I hope that you've enjoyed this, and I hope I get to see you again the next time where we will finish this up, because it does take a long time to do this. But yeah, we'll throw in our roads and everything then. Alright, thank you for watching.